Still ahead, if a meddling mother-in-law or a bigoted brother threaten to ruin your holiday fun, keep it here.
How to clear the holidays as you gear up for those big family gatherings. Plus,
gallery.
Hey, are you dreading those holiday family gatherings with those right around the corner, or are you already getting nervous about spending time with all those folks you've been avoiding all year long? Life coach and author Chandra here to tell us how to deal with all these issues before everybody sits down to the table. Good to see you. It's been a long time. We're trying to figure out where we know each other from. We will before we're done here. You talk about having the talk beforehand. I mean, talking with everybody or talking with the spouse, like how we're going to handle things this year, right?
Well, I think what happens when we get around the holidays, we have a long to-do list, we have a bunch of stuff on our plate, and I really think that the most stressful thing that happens over the holidays is that you're going to once again meet up with people that you haven't seen for a year. And I think it's very nerve-wracking, and I think people have a certain anxiety around that, and they wait until the very last minute in order to do something, and I'm here to say that that's probably not the right thing to do. You probably want to deal with stuff before people sit down at the Thanksgiving table.
All right, let me give a scenario. You got the husband, you got the wife, then you've got the sister and her family coming over. Your husband hates the sister, you're the wife stuck in the middle. Who do you side with in all of this?
Okay, here's the most important thing. If you're going to have someone to dinner at your house, assuming that you're a couple and you're having someone, the husband and wife need to be in sync.
Yeah.
You know, they need to talk about it before everybody sits down. There's nothing more unattractive than a couple bickering. and I think what happens is the people who have the grudge are thinking, you know what? Everybody's here at the Thanksgiving Day table. Right. Maybe I can get consensus from my point of view. I just may bring this up. So husband and wife, couple, even if you're a single person, you have to be aware that there may be some, you know, messy stuff going on, and you have to be willing to look at it before everybody shows up.
Which goes back to the talk you were referring to, especially if it's a couple, a husband, wife. Let's talk about this before we get everybody together and repeat last year's performance.
You have to do it, because what you don't want, just because something happened last year doesn't mean it has to happen again.
That's important too. I mean, because I know that people who get together with families, they get together, and you know as well as I do, they think, all right, we're going to drink and we're going to get through this and have the Thanksgiving dinner, have the big dinner, and the same fight happens year after year. You say that doesn't have to be the case.
That doesn't have to be the case. And it's one thing to drink and to have a good time. It's another thing to allow inappropriate behavior or abusive behavior at your dinner table. And I think that if that comes up, or if something like that happens, I think that you're obliged as the host to speak up, and maybe just in a very non-confrontational way to be able to say, you know what?
Time out.
Time out. This is for hanging out. This is for feeling good. This is not the time. But you have to be brave enough to set some boundaries, and you have to be brave enough to understand that these things are going to come up, and it's your responsibility to make sure everybody gets through dinner without there being any sort of acrimonious sort of discussion.
You know, I think what you said this morning, all of that I love, but I think I really love the fact that, you know, besides thawing the turkey, decorating the tree and everything, you need to plan this, especially if there's problems, address it with your spouse before everybody gets there.
You absolutely do. I think people just their minds get so cluttered, they get so overwhelmed, they're so busy laying out, you know, turkey decorations and placemats. I think the most important thing to understand is that you're going to be the host of a bunch of people who are connected in some way. There's bound to be something. You need to look at it, you need to address it before everybody shows up, and you need to be responsible for creating an environment that feels good around the holidays.
Good advice this morning.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Chandra, she's a life coach, she's an author, she's a speaker, she's a great person. Thank you. And we have a link to Chandra's website as well as contract information online at myfoxtampabay.com. Just look under the Good Day section. And when we